here's another area where I see women struggling a lot. It's a tug of war. Most of the times, I have coached a lot of women. I have coached a lot of professionals, in their professional lives and how to grow their professional careers. And I see that there is a huge bias and huge focus on developing skills. And there is this thought that if I work on more number of skills, if I develop more skills, if I go for more certifications, more programs, more degrees, more advanced learning programs, and keep working on my skill sets, and that is the way to grow. What happens in organizations is that there is a certain type of a mindset that is required for both men and women, in fact, women especially, to grow to leadership positions. Right? So skill sets are great. Yes, we need those skill sets. Yes, we need to develop ourselves. We need to skill, reskill, upskill. Yes, all that is fine. But are we working on our mindset? Sure. And if I were to give an example as to why the mindset is more important than the skill set, I would take an analogy of mindset being an operating system. We have our mobile phones, right? We have our operating system, or even our laptops, whatever. We have a lot of apps and a lot of fantastic games, etc., that we play. We use apps, so many utilities. None of these apps are going to work if there is no operating system. Right. So your mindset is like the operating system, and the skill sets are like the programs, applications, etc., that need an operating system to work efficiently. And if we don't upgrade our mindset, or if we don't upgrade, speaking about the analogy, if we don't upgrade our operating system, a lot of apps stop working after some time. It's the same with the human mind. We have to, be agile. Agile, they talk a lot about agile today, right? Agile is not just a software development framework, Ranjan. Right. Agile is actually starts in the mind, right? Agile starts in the mind, then in the organization mindset, then in the organization structure, and then comes all these processes, etc. So the mindset of an individual and the collective mindset of the organization, I think, is the area where there is a big transformation that is required. And then all these skills, development, new technologies, etc. I mean, people will, meet the requirements. People will rise up to the challenge and, work for the company. It'll work. It'll work like, a clockwork. It'll work beautifully. So this is something that I would urge women leaders to focus on. What is it do you have that agile mindset? How are you looking at your organization? How are you looking at your job? Is it just a job, or is it a career for you? Or is it a part of, So going back to this work-life balance thing, first of all, I think this work-life balance is a misnomer, because I feel work and life cannot be separated. Work is a part of life, because I spend 8 to 10 hours of my, life at workplace. It is an integral part of my life. So what I think people need to start work towards, instead of trying to balance and juggle stuff, they need to start integrating elements of their life so that one speaks to the other, without disconnect. Right? Work has to speak to life. Life has to speak to work, because it's a part of our life. I meet some of the best friends and the best colleagues and some of the best people that I interact with. I've met them at work. Right. So how can I keep work separate from my life? So work life itself, that's a misnomer. So that's another thing that I would urge leaders, especially women, to consider. Don't burden yourself. Don't force yourself to get into that work-life balance misnomer or the myth, right? Instead, if we can focus on our mindset, develop the adaptability, flexibility, and agility, and then work on our skills, that will position us better to work towards our success in whatever career we choose, whether we choose to work in the corporate or whether we choose to become an entrepreneur at a later stage. It works. This approach works, and it has worked for several professions. Right? So that's, I think, something for all of us to consider and mull over. So just to share a few more thoughts as to what is what is it that from a professional perspective, women professional can, women leaders can focus on? So, encouraging diversity in the organization is great, but I think also creating opportunities for women to develop themselves in these 4 areas. And these 4 areas were identified in a in a worldwide survey that was conducted by International Labor Organization and UNCTAD in 2016, in terms of what are the areas that need to be identified by women. Plus, the first 3 are important, yes, but I also added another point, which is bargaining and negotiation skills, because women tend to shy away from bargaining, whether it is in sales or whether it's in a position or whether it is with regards to their salary. So these 4 areas were identified as some of the points that women can actually develop themselves and work on. Yeah, through skilling, through getting mentored, etc. What is that? Customer centricity. And customer is not just external customer. Customer could be an internal department as well. My boss could be my customer. So how do you develop that mindset of being customer centric? If I start looking at my boss, for example, as a customer, my entire approach towards him will change, rather than looking at a boss who's trying to, monitor me. He's not my monitor. So I think the entire relationship quotient will change when I start looking at him as customer. Right. So the customer centricity is again a mindset, Ranjan. Right. And secondly, increased financial literacy, understanding how finances work and how the top line, bottom line of the company is being impacted by my work. Right. How am I contributing to the organization directly or indirectly? Understanding this gives a sense of purpose and a sense of pride for women in the roles that they take up. Right. Enhance competency in leadership. This could be done through several programs in the organization, which is specially tailor-made for women. And, they can work on their leadership skill, the softer aspects. Women, by the way, are known to, have inherent ability to build meaningful and long-lasting interpersonal relationships. It is already a strength that is normally embedded in a woman. So why not give them that opportunity to help them develop those faculties in a much better way? But like I said, bargaining and negotiation skills, this is something that women have to work on. Women shy away, women feel, that they're not worthy. Should I ask? So that hesitancy is something that is inbuilt in women in general. So that's an area for women to work on and come out of that, whatever unconscious, barriers they have built in their own minds. So this is something, whether as a professional or whether as I've seen even women entrepreneurs, it's not just the women in the corporates, even women entrepreneurs shy away from asking what they deserve for their skills and for the capability that they bring to the table. Right. So this is something that I think that negotiation skills, which requires great personality balance and emotional intelligence, that is something that women should work on.